So here's another really interesting point. If we look at the companies that succeeded, right? If we look at the new ventures that succeed, not just the reasons for failure, but we take the 10% that succeed. What we hear is that almost 77% of startups drastically change their original plan. Right? So we hear, in the industry, everybody calls this a pivot, right? Um, Pivots are not accidents, right? It's not a spurious relationship that 70% of these companies are changing their original plan. These startups didn't succeed despite changing their plan. They succeeded because they changed their plan, right? This ability to recognize that you're going down the wrong path and pivot and change course is the difference between success and failure. So being lean is ultimately about creating a process and a mindset for quickly seeing the need to change before you spent much time and money working on it. So in the market, in the industry, we refer to this as product market fit, right? So this is the phrase that describes a situation where we can be sure we're solving a problem that enough people care about, and we're solving it well. And we talk about that as product market fit. Again, product market fit is not something that's only relegated to the world of startups. If you're trying to serve a new market segment with an existing product, if you're adding a big new feature set on top of an existing product, you're right back to searching for product market fit. Are you solving a problem that people care about? Are you solving it well? And are there enough people that care about it that you can build a business on it? But here's the process in a nutshell, using these tools for experimentation and finding product market fit. So the first thing, use the business model canvas to shape your idea. Right? Articulate what your hypotheses are about the 9 squares of the business model canvas. Then take them, extract your hypotheses from that framework, and begin to rank them. And we rank them in order of, what are the ones that we know the least about, and what are the ones that are most important to our business? What are the ones that if we're wrong about, we're doomed? And so we stack rank those in order to come up with a list of tests that we have to run to validate our hypotheses. Then we design tests, and we be really intentional about designing good tests, because we don't want just people to tell us how great things are. I mean, how many people have done this? I'll be really curious. I'm going to look at the chat here for a second. How many people have had this experience? I know I have. You build something, and then you take it to show customers or prospective customers, and they just tell you how great it is. They just tell you how wonderful it is. Oh man, this is terrific. This thing you built, it's marvelous. I can tell you put a lot of effort into it. And your thing that you built is just great. But then you go to sell it and you go to market it, and you can't get people to buy it. How many people have had that experience or seen other people have that experience? I have seen it happen. It's no fun. If we don't design tests well, if we design a test that basically puts people in the spot to have to just tell us whether the thing we built is ugly or nice, they're always going to say nice, because people don't want to hurt our feelings. So we've got to design tests that actually measure what it is we want to measure. And so be real intentional about our test design process. And then we enter the learning loop. Hopefully everybody's seen this before or familiar with the learning loop. Build, measure, learn. In between build, measure, learn, we write some code, we build some stuff, we measure, we get some data. The data sparks new ideas. We build some more things. We measure some more things. We learn some more. This doesn't ever stop, right? This game doesn't ever stop for as long as you are in a product management role. But we want a systematic way of capturing the learnings that come out of that process. Once we capture those learnings, then we update our model. Now we update our model, go back through, assess which are the riskiest assumptions, design new tests, rinse and repeat. And it doesn't ever stop. You don't ever get to a point where you're like, oh, we got this all figured out. That doesn't happen. So in summary, what we talked about today and why experimentation and why lean is important. Experimentation over elaborate planning. Elaborate planning just won't work when you're in something new. There's too much uncertainty. You just don't know what you don't know, and you got to find that out first. Customer feedback over intuition. I'm not Steve Jobs. You're probably not Steve Jobs. Don't trust visionaries. Trust data. Iterative design over traditional big design upfront development. Start small. PowerPoint presentations, paper prototypes, or web-based prototypes. The more you learn, the more you can invest. Your experiments get longer running and more expensive as you move forward. Make this promise to yourself and to your teammates. If we learn that nobody wants or needs our idea, we will look at the data honestly. We'll stop wasting our valuable time and resources on its development, and we will do something else. This is not a failure. This is a success. You don't want to spend your lifeblood, your life energy doing something that nobody cares about. And that's not to say that you should walk away from anything at the first sign of challenge. Clearly that's not what I'm saying. But if the data is in, the results are in, and the market doesn't like your idea, it's okay, right? Learn from it, come up with another idea. My experience, good ideas are a dime a dozen. You spend a little bit of time searching, you'll find your next idea. Move on to it. Don't try to make a bad idea work.